What if I told you the single biggest thing holding you back from a career as an AI product manager has absolutely nothing to do with your coding skills or your degree? There is a huge myth out there that's keeping really talented people away from some of the best jobs in tech. And today, we're going to shatter it.
So let's just get right to it. The question everyone is afraid to ask: do you really need a PhD in machine learning to get this job? I mean, you see it everywhere, right? It's a huge source of anxiety. But the answer, based on what hiring managers are actually looking for, well, it might just change everything for you.
So the myth goes like this. The AI product manager role is some kind of exclusive club, only for expert coders and data scientists. But after looking at hiring data from over 135 companies and talking to people inside the big tech firms, a totally different picture starts to emerge. The market has changed. The skills that actually get you hired, they're not what you think. Welcome to the Agile Wow podcast, your trusted partner in Agile, Scrum, artificial intelligence training, coaching, and innovation. Agile Wow is on a mission to build communities, empower professionals, and accelerate the learning curve, one conversation at a time. So how do you break through all that noise and actually land the job? Well, we've zeroed in on 5 surprising truths that are going to give you a serious edge. We're going to cover why a side project is your new degree, the huge mindset shift that separates the good AI PMs from the great ones, and we'll reveal the one skill that's way more valuable than coding. And you're going to want to stick around because the 5th truth reveals exactly how technical you really need to be. All right, let's dive in. Okay, first things first, let's just demolish this myth of the academic gatekeeper. For years, the assumption has been that you need some fancy engineering degree just to get your foot in the door. And honestly, that idea alone has stopped so many potentially brilliant product people from even trying. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. The market is moving at lightning speed. Companies have figured out that a fancy degree on paper doesn't always translate to real-world impact. A completely new set of skills is now defining who wins in this role, and believe me, it's way more accessible than you think. And that change in the market leads us straight to our first surprising truth. Hiring managers now value builders way more than students. What this means for you is that your most powerful new credential, it isn't another course certificate, it's a scrappy little side project that proves you can actually build something. I mean, listen to this quote from a hiring manager at Meta. It says it all. They don't want people who can just talk theory. They want proof. They want to see that you've gotten your hands dirty and tried to solve a real problem using AI, no matter how simple it is. So how do you become a builder? Look, it sounds intimidating, but it's easier than ever. 1, find a real business problem. 2, grab a no-code AI tool. 3, and this is the most important part, get it in front of 10 to 20 real users. And 4, iterate on their messy, unfiltered, real-world feedback. I promise you, going through that cycle just once will teach you more than a dozen tutorials ever could. Now, once you actually start building, you'll figure out pretty fast that managing an AI product, it just feels different. It demands a totally new way of thinking. And that brings us to our second truth. You have to start thinking in probabilities, not projects. And this is probably the single biggest mental leap you'll have to make. Think about it like this. A traditional PM is kind of like a chef following a recipe. If they follow all the steps perfectly, they know exactly what they're going to get. It either works or it fails. But an AI PM? You're more like a gardener. You can plant the seeds, create the perfect conditions, you can nurture the soil, but you can never be 100% certain how the plants will grow. Your model is never going to be perfect. This leads to a whole new discipline we're calling probabilistic portfolio management. In other words, you're not just managing a list of tasks anymore. You're managing a portfolio of bets. Your real job is to manage that uncertainty. So instead of promising a fixed deadline, you'll find yourself saying things like, we have an 80% confidence level that this model will reduce churn by 3 to 5%. You're speaking a completely different language. So if you're managing bets and speaking in probabilities, how in the world do you get everyone else on board? This flows right into our third truth, and it's the one most people totally miss. Your most valuable skill isn't technical, it's being a great translator. And hey, if you're finding this useful, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It really helps us get this out to more people who are trying to break into the field. So what exactly is an AI translator? Well, you are the indispensable bridge between the brilliant, complex work of your data science team and the bottom line results that your business stakeholders actually care about. Without you, AI projects can just turn into expensive science experiments with no clear return on investment. You are constantly answering the question, so what? Here's a perfect example. Your engineers might come to you and say, Great news, we improved the F1 score to 0.89. That means absolutely nothing to your head of sales. As the translator, you turn that into, this means we just got down on false fraud alerts by 23%, which saves our review team 40 hours of manual work every single week. Now that is a language everyone understands. This translator skill is so important that we actually dedicate a whole module to it in our Agile WOW product management course. It's all about learning to speak the language of business and tech at the same time.
And as that translator, you also carry this huge responsibility to make sure the AI you're building isn't just effective, but that it's also safe and fair. And this brings us to truth number 4. For AI products, ethics isn't just a checkbox, it's a core part of your strategy. You know, for decades, product management has been seen as a three-legged stool. Is it desirable for users? Is it technically feasible? And is it viable for the business? Well, AI kicks down the door and adds a fourth, totally non-negotiable leg to that stool. Is it ethical? So, how do you make this practical? You can start with these 4 guardrails. 1. Ensure data privacy, because once you lose user trust, getting it back is almost impossible. 2. Preserve human value. Make sure your AI is augmenting people, not trying to make them obsolete. 3. Constantly validate AI outputs for bias and errors. And 4. Be transparent about where AI is being used. Ignoring this stuff isn't just bad ethics, it's a massive business risk.
Now, being an ethical guardian and a great translator, that requires you to have a certain level of technical understanding, which brings us full circle to our 5th and final truth. And this is the answer to that question we asked at the very beginning. Your goal isn't to code. Your goal is to be fluent.
So what is technical fluency? Look, it is not about writing Python. It's about being able to sit down with your engineers and have a credible conversation about model performance. It's about understanding the basics of a data pipeline and grasping the trade-offs of different technical paths so you can be a true strategic partner to them. It's a really delicate balance. As one experienced PM on Reddit put it, with too little technical knowledge, you just sound like a blue-sky dreamer with ideas that aren't grounded in reality. Fluency is what earns you the respect of your engineering team and lets you build incredible things together. Okay, so we've talked about being a builder, a probabilistic thinker, a translator, an ethical guardian, and a fluent partner. After shattering all these myths, what does this new reality of the AI product manager actually look like for you? What's the real payoff here? The huge takeaway is that a new, modern skill set has emerged. It's this combination of these 5 roles. This is your new playbook. This is what gets you hired, and more importantly, what helps you actually succeed once you land the role. And what does mastering this new skill set actually mean for you? Well, it means you're positioning yourself for a pretty significant pay increase. AI product manager roles command anywhere from a 10 to 40% salary premium over traditional PM positions. So this isn't just a career shift, it's a massive opportunity. So we're going to end with this. The most important question isn't, do I have the right degree? The real question, the one that great hiring managers really care about, is this. What problem will you go out and solve with AI? Thanks for tuning into the podcast supported by Agile WOW. If you enjoyed this, make sure to follow and share it with your team. And if you want to advance your journey, check out Agile WOW's upcoming trainings and events, all designed to help you grow. Until next time, stay agile and stay curious.